In 1936, an animal called Benjamin died alone in a zoo enclosure in Hobart, Australia. No one marked the moment as historic. No one realized they were watching the final member of an entire order of mammals disappear from the earth. Why did almost nobody notice the last one dying? The Tasmanian tiger, known scientifically as Thylacinus, looked like a striped wolf with a stiff, kangaroo-like tail. But it wasn't a wolf at all. It was a marsupial, carrying its young in a pouch, more closely related to kangaroos and koalas than any dog. This is one of evolution's strangest tricks. Thylacines evolved on the opposite side of the world from wolves, yet ended up looking remarkably similar. Scientists call this convergent evolution, when unrelated species independently evolve similar traits to solve the same problem. A wolf-shaped predator niche existed, and two completely different family trees filled it. Once found across mainland Australia, thylacines had already vanished from the mainland roughly 2,000 years ago, likely outcompeted by dingoes introduced by early human settlers. Tasmania, an island separated from the mainland, had no dingoes, and the thylacine survived there instead. Then European colonizers arrived in the 1800s, bringing sheep farming across the island. Livestock started disappearing, and thylacines got the blame almost immediately. Was the blame fair? Later studies suggest the thylacine's jaw wasn't well suited to killing something as large as a full-grown sheep. Feral dogs and poor farming practices likely caused far more livestock deaths than the thylacine ever did. It didn't matter. In 1888, the Tasmanian government introduced a bounty, paying money for every dead thylacine turned in. Over the next 2 decades, thousands were hunted down based largely on reputation rather than evidence. By the 1920s, sightings in the wild had become rare. The last known wild thylacine was shot in 1930. Benjamin, captured earlier, lived out his final years alone in Hobart's Beaumaris Zoo, a single individual representing an entire branch of the animal kingdom. In 1936, just 2 months after the species received legal protection that came too late to matter, Benjamin died from exposure after being locked out of his enclosure shelter overnight. How does an entire evolutionary lineage end because of one bad night and one closed door? Quietly, and almost without anyone noticing, until decades later, when people finally understood what had actually been lost. The thylacine wasn't hunted into extinction by fear of a real threat. It was hunted into extinction by a story people told themselves about a threat that barely existed. Sometimes the most dangerous thing to a species isn't a predator. It's a rumor that gets treated like a fact.